So that song is the easiest thing in the world because you don't need to do anything. It's the one place on earth you can go and do nothing. All the other times we're always doing something. We become doers. Now, can you tune into your being, which has no shape or form or taste or smell? You can't see it, you can't think it, you can't even conceive of what your true being is. And yet, that's what you are. And that's what we're searching for. This whole life. Some may call it your soul. Searching for the soul. The quest to find the soul. And when you find it and you rest in that space, no more suffering, no more pain, no more sorrow. Freedom. It's soul consciousness. Totally possible for anyone to reach that or experience that. And so the purpose of satsang is to create a space where people can know that. Like it almost kind of activates certain spiritual structures in your being that make a person more aware of what spirit is, or at least come closer to the experience. It's very much experiential. It's not necessarily about just talking of spiritual philosophy and then just leaving it at that. But you can become a living embodiment of the soul, where everything that comes through you is, you could say, divinely inspired. Nothing comes from you personally. It's almost like the universe is running you instead of you. Like normally we're run by our mind. Our mind is telling us, what should I do next? But what if you had the cosmic intelligence telling you what to do? Then your life would be effortless. Flowing through life. What a joy. And in that state, the bliss is so great. You have to be ready to experience that state. People who are not ready, who haven't done their psychological work and their clearing and all that, their relationship work and all that stuff, you can be destroyed by that much light. In other words, you can't handle it. That's why it's kind of like a gradual progression, spirituality. Very gradual. Takes time to, unlayer these, if you want to call them karmas. Karma, one way to say the definition of karma is a feeling of separation between me and God. And the main veil, the main karma, the main issue is simply the I. That's the main veil. You are the veil. Isn't that fascinating? You are the veil. And if that sense of I kind of becomes more like space, then suddenly the infinite is revealed to you. You know the nature of the cosmos. In a way, one could say you are face to face with your creator. This is very profound and considered as the ultimate goal of human evolution, to find your true self. So many times we get born into a body and go through life and we forgot what we were here for. Sometimes people wonder, why did I forget about spirituality until I was age 30 or 50 or 60 or, whenever it is? Many people say that to me. Why did it take so long for me to remember how important this is? But you have to kind of go through your desires. It's not like when you're born as a baby that they give you like a little handbook, guidebook for life, how to find your soul. Did you get that book? Maybe it's a memo. I didn't get that book. My mother did not give me that book. I was clueless. Had no idea what to do with this life. I thought, well, how about make money? That sounds good. So I started a financial planning firm and very successful in that. And then I had a darshan meeting, holy meeting, with my spiritual teacher, Swami Purna, in 2012. And he asked me to leave everything. Everything that I had worked for my entire life to get to that point of like what you call the pinnacle of success. This is the American dream, right? I made it. I'm success. I can sit back and relax and on my back patio and watch the ocean and the dolphins. And everything is awesome. That's kind of how it was, Could you believe leaving all that? And now all I have is a Prius with my sleeping bag in it, just in case I need to sleep at a campground or something. So I followed his direction. That was a 3-minute conversation that I had with him. And then he asked me to let go of everything. So then I got a van and I put a bed in the van and I just started traveling from city to city. And I didn't know anyone. Plus, I wasn't necessarily very good at reaching out to people. I didn't know who to reach out. This is the first time that I even met Kitty. Just talked to her over the phone. We didn't know each other before. But I looked at her website and said, oh, she's interested in love. That's my kind of girl. She's interested in love. Very woo-woo topics. Very woo. Because this world, right, very much goal-oriented. I've got to get somewhere. I've got to achieve goals. It's kind of more of a male mentality, actually. Whereas like the female sentiment is, let's just love one another. Why do we have to get somewhere? It's oftentimes the female sentiment. I like that sentiment. So to then be able to share the spiritual teachings. Each gathering is blessed by Swami Purna. Swami Purna is what you call a descending being. See, we're trying to ascend in consciousness to realize the divine or the soul. We're trying to ascend. That's why the chakras, you climb up the chakras, which represent different states of consciousness, until you get to the crown chakra, and then that represents infinite consciousness. Then you realize I am everything. There's only me, right? So it's ascension, going up this ladder of consciousness, if you want to call it that. But there are beings once in a while that descend onto earth and are already complete as they are. They don't need to do any spiritual work to cleanse themselves, to take off the veils. They know the true self. So their only purpose is to share the spiritual teachings, the essence, to help spiritual seekers define their self. And why would they do that? This is such a crazy world. Why would you come down into such a crazy world to do something like that? Simply through compassion, mercy. There's a higher intelligence that actually cares about creation, wants people to feel free. So they send these beings or send down these rays of light and simply reaching out their hand and saying, come, take my hand, and I will bring you across the ocean of your mind to the celestial shores. I will bring you there. Come into my boat. and I will take you there. Another name for that is, you could call it as the Sat Guru. Guru just means that being that leads you from darkness to light. Maybe some people have heard that term before. Guru. Ru, light. Gu, darkness. So certainly we can try to do it on our own to reach what you would call freedom, soul consciousness, but it's difficult. You know why? This mind, it's a little monkey. It will take over and run you and cause you great suffering. Do you know how the mind causes you suffering? Very simple. Assesses things as good and bad. Me, you. That's it. I like this, I don't like this. So if I get what I like, I'm going to be happy. But if I don't get what I like, I'm going to pout. I used to be a very good pouter. Expert. So how do you break out of that, I don't know if you want to call it duality of the mind? You know, feelings of good and bad, me and you, separation from the whole. How do you break out of that? So the energy, the presence of satsang, of this kind of, sat means truth, sang means gathering, is to dissolve the dualities that are in our being, that are causing us so much suffering and so much pain within our own mind. That's what satsang does. And so I felt honored to follow his guidance and share the teachings. Although I didn't think I was really a spiritual teacher, I thought, well, if you say that I should do it, I'll follow you, because I'm devoted to my teacher. Anything he would like me to do, I'll do it, even if it's extremely challenging. This was very challenging. But thank God I followed that path. You know, I have often described it as the sunlit path. Do you wonder why wearing the gold? Wherever I walk, sunlight. Right now I'm staying kind of right on the beach. The sunlight is brilliant, sparkling on the water. The blue ocean. I mean, this is a symbol of my path, where the happiness is triggered in such a deep way that it becomes kind of like consistent. It doesn't die. I don't get depressed one day and then sad the other day or whatever. It's just a consistent flow of happiness running through the being. Don't we want that? I often call it happiness for no reason. I don't need someone to give me a kiss or a hug in order to be happy. I am happiness itself. Yeah, that's it. So exciting and so possible.